we're back.
And we're back.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome back to another episode of Boys Love Iland 2 Non-Applicable. This is the only show. I like to do this. This is the only show where two married men in an attic recap South Korea's Mnet survival show, Iland 2 NA.
Yeah.
The only one.
The only one.
You really won't get this anywhere else.
Yeah. And when we say attic, it is the
an attic.
This is the roof, bitch.
This is the roof, mama.
Yeah.
We are in the middle of the unit battle.
Literally.
We are halfway through the unit battle.
We just watched last week. We left after the Iland group.
The Iland dance crew.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tore up the stage.
Tore it up
with their sassy performance.
Yes.
Of My Bag.
Extremely contrasting songs.
Yeah. You know when they say musical theater, like bring two contrasting songs? That's what I would do. I would always bring My Bag by G Idol and then Eve Psyche and Bluebeard's Wife as my two contrasting.
Oh, okay.
16 bars.
The idea of doing that is like bringing, for the musical theater fans out there that have no idea what we're talking about, I don't know why you're watching this, but it would be like bringing two Sondheim songs to an audition, being like, they're too contrasting.
They're too contrasting. I'll be singing, pardon me, is everybody there? Because everybody's there. Thank you all for the gifts and the flowers. And what would contrast that? Telephones ring and buzzers buzz. I can't remember what it was, but another me. Right?
We are in the middle of the unit battles. In the ground crew, we have Yui, Yuna,
and Adam went, there's a girl named Yuna in the show.
And Sarang. She doesn't have a narrative, let's say that. That's the kindest way I can say that she's passing through the show. Yeah. This happens.
It happens.
It always happens. There's always people.
Sarang
is the leader of this group, and she is a bit cracking under pressure.
She's a little stressed.
I think she's a really good leader.
I think so too.
I think she's really showing great qualities.
Monica comes during the interim and she's like very hard on her and says like, you're a perfectionist, I can tell, but you're not taking time to work on the details for yourself.
You're too worried about being a leader.
You keep teaching it, like you keep working everyone else's details.
Yes. Everyone else being two other people.
Yeah. And then we get the phrase that is you. It's good. This is her brand con stunning. This is her. I love you. I want you. Sok met you. It's Ryu sarang. No, I sarang. Time to give yourself love, diva.
Oh yeah, diva. The performance. They are doing Mic Drop and Sugarcoat by Kiss of Life.
Kiss of Life. It was Natty's solo. Famously one of my top 10 K-pop songs last year.
I would say very contrasting songs.
Yes. This was a better matchup.
Does it feel like after the second round of battles,
you were like, did Ground get better songs?
I don't want to say better songs, but I want to say songs that I feel like they were able to play into what the challenge is.
Yes.
More
appropriate songs for the mission.
Correct. That's how it feels.
Yeah.
On both this and vocal, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Even though like Taeyeon's song was good, we talked about it last week, but it felt less. It did feel kind of less challenging because it was not interpreting kind of like a song like Taeyang's, which is it's a man song, so like. I don't know.
It's a song by a man.
It's a song by a man. Oof.
Tough.
That's tough. That's tough to work with.
Yeah.
What do you think of the performance?
I thought they were so good. This was the most like girl group energy. Like they were a girl group.
Yeah.
Especially when they got to Sugarcoat. Yes. Like it was so and of course it was brighter in general, obviously, than Mic Drop, but they were so in sync. They looked so good together.
Monica was like, I choreographed Sugarcoat like SES, which was like a 90s girl group. So it was more like presentational and bright in that way.
Yeah. I loved it.
I loved it too.
I really loved it. And I do think the Islands was good too. I think this was pretty neck and neck in terms of like who was winning.
We didn't talk about it last week, but they really built up this Juwon Sarang rivalry.
Last week they did.
Yes.
And then they don't really do anything with it.
I think because there's a
meteor.
There's a meteor. There's a meteor rivalry that they're trying to build.
Oh, I don't even know if they're trying to build.
That it's not.
It's a one-sided rivalry.
Yes, because Juwon and Sarang feel like friendly competition / friendly rivalry.
They've known each other for a while.
They've trained together. Yes. And Sarang was like, every time we get to like our evaluations, they always pick Juwon.
Yeah.
More. Like, they'll always compare me to Juwon and say she's better.
Yeah.
Which, like, you can kind of see in how Sarang trains. She looks like she's thinking about a million things.
Yeah.
And I think this was her best showing, but I hope she works on it.
Because I would not consider them similar.
No, I wouldn't either.
They're not. They're really different in the way they... Obviously, they're both really skilled dancers, but their energies are so different. And I like both of them a lot.
Yeah. That I'm like, I don't feel like I have to choose between one or the other.
Yeah.
I can have both.
Yeah.
In a group.
Yeah.
And they're not like, oh, why are there two of this kind? You know?
Right. So, yeah. I think Sarang really shines.
I think so too.
Then that's what they say. They say she does like a really great job. And Yui really interprets like the performance really well.
Yeah.
Which she has a perfect interpretation of what the challenge is.
Were, yeah.
And then Juwon's group, because they all get like critiqued together. So Juwon gets critiqued that her faces were better. And then they show a montage of her face during the performance, and it's the same face she's been giving in every challenge so far. And
you were like,
it is appropriate for those songs.
Yeah. So I'm like, even if
I don't understand.
Yeah. We said it before. Like, it doesn't feel like this is the right challenge to give this note, but I understand it's the time to give the note in her trajectory.
Yeah.
But like, these two songs are perfect for her.
It's a little like get out of your own head, Cracker, Miss Cracker, and then Miss Cracker's like, oh, I didn't know I was in my head, and now I'm in my head because you said it. It's very that.
Or she's like, be less cerebral, Cracker, and then the last challenge was the like, create your alter ego.
Yes,
create your inner saboteur.
Completely cerebral. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. And then Coco is complimented for her physique. They do say that it does seem like it's Coco's number
and they are the two dancers.
But I think that's also just visually.
Heights. I mean, she's towering over
and she kind of is the center for a lot of it. So I understand why. I don't think they were like bad though.
No, and I feel bad for Ji-won because I think she does a good job.
I think she does too.
I think she really like matches energy with both of them.
Yeah, they did not agree. Iland gets 83, Ground gets 89, Ground officially winning over Iland. So 3 more people are leaving Iland to go to Ground. The total number now 6.
Yeah.
This is at the point where we were like,
are we about to get 9 people?
Are we about to get 9 dropouts from Iland? Let's go to the creative units. The creative units are both making choreography to the song Rain on Me by Lady Gaga. Featuring Ariana Grande. No. Ariana Grande. Iland goes first. Iland's whole narrative is that when they were splitting up the parts, they were like, the best vocalist should be the vocal team. The best dancer should be the dance team. Everyone else can go to creative.
And if we lose one, then at least we just lose one.
At least we just lost creative.
Because
the assumption going into it was that creative is going to lose. Now, granted, they probably thought Soojung was going to do the creative group for Ground.
For Ground.
So they were just assuming like there's no way to beat Soojung anyway. I don't think it was necessary. I don't think it was totally like shitty being like, you guys are so bad that there's no way you're gonna win. I think it was genuinely like a Ground has someone that actually creates choreography.
Okay. So I wish they said it.
Yeah, I mean, that's me giving a generous
Yes,
read
because
to
I
what's
was
happening.
like, I could see that. I could see all of them being like, Sejong this is her. She does choreography.
Yeah.
So even if we have the best dancers in
Yeah.
creative, we will still not beat that.
Well, there's only one person in the entire 22 girls who makes who is
a choreographer.
actually made choreography before, and she's in ground.
She's in ground.
And spoiler alert, she loses.
Yeah.
Idols are not going to make their own choreography.
No.
That is not a part of...
It's not required.
It is not required. It's a skill you can develop,
It's a
but it
skill
would
you
be
can
like
develop,
being
but
like...
they give you that opportunity.
It would be like
It's
the
organic.
challenge this week is to produce your own song. And it's
Yeah.
like... Right, but that's
But
not
that's not
that's not the
everyone's-
requirement of being an idol.
Right. Yeah.
Singing, dancing, acting, okay?
Product placement.
Giving a performance, yes. Visuals. This is why, again, the one thing
the
that I
visual-
will say
you
about
want a
Fantasy
visual
Boys
challenge?
is that they had a visual challenge, which is part of the game.
Yeah.
They're not going to be creating choreography. I'm sorry. They're not. It's something they can like learn how to do.
Yeah.
And I guess it's fun.
And yes, there are idols that have done this. Yes, there are idols that choreograph parts of it, but
course
we're
there
not
are.
saying
No.
that is a requirement.
Right. And everybody understands.
Yeah.
Does it feel like, because this was not a challenge in Iland 1,
Right.
we are fully in the midst of full TikTok. Does it feel like it's like, well, you girlies have now spent years doing dance challenges on TikTok, a lot of which are
made up,
outside of like K-pop ones are usually like people have just made up
yeah.
and then they just go viral. So is it like, try to think of it in that regard, but it's not really.
It's not. They're not really doing. They're not saying like make a memorable moment in the choreography.
That would be a full RuPaul's
That is a Drag Race
challenge for
challenge.
sure.
Yeah.
Make a viral TikTok. Iland goes first. They are led by Mai, who has the narrative of the fucking episode. It's so good. She is edited so well.
She is the star of the episode.
She's the star of the episode. You root for her. She like is so winning. She doesn't like break down once. She doesn't like. She's like has frustrations. She has like overcomes the obstacle, but she doesn't like crack under the pressure. She's like she wins. It's so good.
She does this.
You can't ask for a better narrative on a survival show
Yeah.
than Mai's episode.
They go into the midpoint check, and Monica is like, "You are acting like the leftovers," and I'm seeing that you are
Yeah.
the leftovers.
Well, they hadn't.
they
so
hadn't done
finished their
anything. They hadn't
choreo.
finished their intro.
Their intro, they were just waiting because they hadn't done it yet. And then the end was just like two of them were left
Just Mai
for the
and,
last
Mai and Sabi just like waving
for the last like I don't know 32
Yeah.
counts, and then they just like end with them
waving,
being
yeah,
like
peace.
"Wee."
Yeah, Monica literally called them out, and when they went back, like they all talked, like all of Iland, to kind of address the situation.
Right.
And like a lot of the girls that just came from ground were like, it does feel like we were the leftovers and like we were struggling. And Mai like steps up and says like, I
have never once thought of us as the leftovers. Even if you're lying, what
Even
a great
if she's
lie.
lying, even if she's saying that like, I don't even want to think about that, and I want us
Right.
to have the mindset that like we're
just
the
as
third
valid for
team
yes. Mhm.
to win us to win. Because she already did that when she didn't get the parts that she wanted in the first two challenges. Do you know
RJ,
what I mean?
you coined something when we were watching this, and I really feel like
when we were reacting,
yes,
what did I say?
you said survival shows are both skill and
Will
put it on a t-shirt.
put it on a damn t-shirt. I mean, yeah, survival shows are both skill and will.
And they had the will, the gall, and the gumption to do this, mama.
because the fact that they were able to actually pull it off and create choreography out of nothing, and even
Yeah.
Mai was like, okay, Sejong's fucking doing the other one. We saw her.
Right.
We literally saw it.
They
in the
watched
check-in.
it. They watched the interim.
And we're like, we're not going to out choreo her. So
Right.
it's just make it simple, but make it actually mean something.
Yeah.
She literally
Stayed up all night.
to do text work
Yes. Of the song
Rain on Me
by Lady Gaga featuring Ariana Grande.
Literally, she was like, no, when she says, I'd rather be dry but at least I'm alive. What does that mean to us trying to survive in the show?
Yeah.
Like she was doing like a full like TED talk and all the girls were like on the couch like,
speak to me, queen. Yeah. What did you think
of the choreo?
What did you think overall?
Overall? I thought that this was like the right way to do it. I think mine was very smart to do what she did.
This is
Obviously,
the only way they could have won.
This was
by doing
the
it like
only way they
this.
could have won it.
This is musical theater.
Yeah.
This is the most like
You said
You have a
elementary
bu-
school. I
you
said
have-
show choir.
you have a
energy.
bunch of like actors who are movers in your ensemble, and you're like, okay, well, we got to come up with choreo that's not
Let's make
difficult,
tableaus.
but you understand the story.
Let's make tableaus. Let's not make it complicated.
We're gonna walk to the right for 4 counts. We're
Sadie
gonna walk
walks
to the
from
left.
the metaball, from the meatball into in front of the camera, and then on the stage they make the sun rays.
Sure.
I mean, so John was
Sure.
like, "Wow, I didn't fucking think of that."
Yeah.
So
I thought this performance was good. I
thought
thought
so,
they
too.
did a very good job.
they performed it really well. There were moments
their
where
hearts were in this number.
my was like Black Swan girl. Like she was like,
Yes. All of them were going for it.
and this was when Monica and Lee Jung were like, I guess it is a creative challenge. So let's lean in on creative when
Right.
judging. Because I think they saw what it was for what it was, and we're like, okay, we'll have to kind of rethink how we judge this.
So let's talk about the ground performance, and then we can really compare the two, because it's
unfair.
it's unfair to compare them yet.
Yeah.
Ground goes, Soo-jung has created all this choreo. She's done, they like build a human motorcycle at the very beginning. They have a bit where they're like, it's a like clearly a mirror, and they're talking, she's like
Yes.
singing it to herself. Later on, they create like a visual umbrella out of like their arm. I mean, like many times it is striking. It is like smart. It's
Yeah.
you catch it immediately. You know what they're doing. It's totally makes sense with the song. Blah 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 blah. The choreo's good. The transitions look good. I think the best part is that each member gets like a time to shine.
Everyone got
really
like a moment.
specifically.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And the judges are like, that was great.
That was great. Okay.
And it was great.
It was great. Okay, so here's the thing.
I call rigor mortis.
Okay.
I call rigor mortis.
They basically were like, we should go off of like what was Stop picking your
I
cuticle
know.
because you're
They're
gonna
so bad.
you're gonna do that.
Yeah, from Black Swan.
Yeah.
Speaking of Black Swan.
Black Swan. Let's think what was impactful. What made us like go wow, right? Which
Yes.
that's hard. It's subjective.
Sure, yeah.
Could be anything.
Oh, everything is always objective. Yes.
2 out of the 5 producers
Mm-hmm.
have the highest expectations on Sejong.
For Soo-jung specifically.
For her specifically.
Of all 22
Of
girls on
all
the show
22,
currently.
they're like, the choreo was a little like, what's what I expected. So like, be more creative.
To no one else on the show would they have said that.
Oh, I know. And I'm like, ugh, I almost wish she was on dance. And I wonder if they were doing this because
She wanted vocal originally.
she wanted vocal. Yeah.
This is a classic
That's tough.
case of you have your expectations for Iland were so low because of how bad the interim went
Yeah.
that because they like kind of nailed it, it was like that was the
Wow,
most
that was
incredible
great.
thing I've ever
Yes.
seen in my life. Whereas because Ground basically did the same performance with some added things.
Yes. They
and
just
it was
refined
already
it.
really competent.
Yeah.
They were like, well, we can
already saw
nitpick
it.
a little bit
yeah,
more.
we already kind of saw it.
This is bullshit. In my professional
You-
opinion.
you wanted
I feel
Ground to-
very strongly about this. First of all, it would have been a gag to have 9 go from
Absolutely.
Iland to Ground. But second of all, I just think like they at one point said that the Iland performance was like an end of the year, like a mama stage
end of the year performance. Like it was like exciting as opposed to Ground, which was just like another music show performance. It was very like precise. So then, but then I go back of like, okay, so then what was is it a choreography challenge or is it a creative emotion challenge? So you say rigor mortis.
I say rigor mortis. I say the producers were like, you cannot send 3 more girls to Ground. The max is 6. We said it's 9. The max is 6.
The judges genuinely were like, well, they went with like, well, they surprised us. We really thought it was going to be bad, and I still enjoyed myself, and I didn't hate it.
Right. I don't think it's bad, and I think it's done really smartly, and I think like with what they could do, they did it really effectively.
Right. Yeah.
But
it's not competing in the same.
Genuinely, the other
challenge.
one is better.
Yeah.
Period. They're better performers. The choreography is more interesting.
Yeah.
The story is still told. They tried to make it seem like there's no story being told in the second one,
right.
which is crazy.
Well, they also said they put it on Sojung, not Chan, when she was like out of formation.
Yeah.
The note that they gave her, like, you could have like tightened up the group a little bit better.
Yeah.
And then it was all Chan, which I mean, like,
it was 2 points that they could have had to specifically highlight with a mask on the video to be like,
Chan was a little off.
She's 1 foot away from where she's supposed to be. I mean, send them all to Ground.
I think the bar for Sojung is like, that's the reason why.
Of 100%.
And I think
especially for those two,
because
judges.
They brought the average down. I could see like the other 3 being like, wow.
And it is, to be clear, it's a 1 point difference. So they
1
end
point,
up getting, Iland gets 84, Ground gets 83. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to make it seem like it was like this huge crazy thing.
They failed or whatever.
It's very clear that it was neck and neck, basically. Yeah. And I do understand being a person who like probably saw the interim and then being like, oh, this is going to go so bad. And then that happens and you're so like filled with like, you're so proud of the girls for like overcoming that and like really coming together and doing it. And like nobody like looks defeated. Everybody looks like pretty competent in what they're doing. Nobody stands out as a sore thumb. But I do find it very interesting that 4 of these girls end up going home.
I know.
I mean, that says... And it also is it's a little unfair to average 5 versus 7.
Oh, I did not even think about that.
Sojung still goes to Iland, so it's fine. So that's what happens. 6 people.
Iland.
Yes.
They get brought down everyone gets brought down or up because of their score. In Iland, regardless of what group won or lost.
Okay, yes. So it's not voting. They do not vote each other out of Iland. So it is based upon individual scores. The bottom 6 of the 12 girls in Iland are going to go to Ground.
Yep.
And the top 6 girls of Ground are going to go up to Iland. So we have Ji-won, Nana, Kang Ji-won, Sol, Yeon, and Ju-won. So that's 4 creatives and 2 dancers.
Yeah. Mai was pissed.
Here's the thing. It sucks because
they won.
One.
But at the same time, I would say those are.
But I would say those. It seems like it's coming to the end of the line for some of these folks.
And I think they're like, we got to give it. Let's make it objective.
As we've said before, there are some trainees that need to bake in the oven a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it is interesting that in Islands, they I think for the girls chose ones that are a little underbaked.
I hated the silver looks, by the way. I didn't say this, but I really did not like
I didn't like both
creative team looks. I especially hated Mai's look.
I know.
I didn't like it.
It just feels like they have a bigger pool of like underbaked trainees this time around. I think the boys, they weren't like underbaked. They were just like not really memorable, or they didn't really have personalities.
Iland won there were definitely like
In
people
Highland.
that they in Highland, they really wanted certain.
They already had a
trainees
clear vision of
to
who the
make it
12
in the
was.
group.
Yeah.
And then in ground, Sarang, Yui, Jimin, Yuju, Jiyoon, and Sujung are all going up to Iland. So that's one vocalist, Jiyoon, who actually was the highest scorer of the whole fucking day.
Whole fucking day.
2 dancers and 3 creatives. A healthy mix.
A healthy mix, but I wish some of the girls who have been in ground for a while could have gone up.
Like who?
Like, it would have been cool if Yuna did really great and like,
Yeah.
or even like Chan. I mean, like, I know she still has a long way to go.
So who would you have not sent? That's the problem. Of
If
the
it was
6.
like a, what? Oh, of the 6? No, that seems right.
Yeah.
I was scared that it wasn't going to be Sujung because they had,
I didn't know if it was going to be Jiyoon. I thought it was very funny the way
they were like,
they clearly did not announce the names in the order of their scores.
yes, yeah.
They just randomized it. And you could see her getting visibly angry the whole time. She was like, this is absolute fucking bullshit.
It's like, oh, I haven't been called yet.
They bring all 10 girls out on the stage who are in ground. And Kang Ji-won and Nana officially depart with a score of 69 and 72 respectively.
I probably
So 2 people who were in the winning Iland group, the
left.
only group that won in Iland, got eliminated. They got eliminated from Iland.
From the show.
They got they were in Iland in this challenge and then left.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter if you're in Iland or ground.
No.
That is like girl land. That's
yes.
what the theme is.
And I do think they kind of see that.
I think that's a better way to do the show for sure.
But I think because they added the eliminations in part 1, it's like I don't see people crying that they are going to ground.
Yeah.
Well, they are because they could be eliminated
Right.
immediately after.
But they could. You can be eliminated at any point for any reason.
Yeah.
Divas. So next week, okay, we're gonna have six producer picks, and then
And
6
6 iMate
picks.
to make.
Is that
part
next
2.
week or is that episode
It's the
8?
week after. So next week,
Is the 1 versus 1 challenges.
1 versus 1, and whoever wins will be the 6 producer picks.
And they're fully setting up Jungun versus
Jiyeon. Which, when they arrived, Jiyeon was like greeting everyone, saying hi
Saying
to
hello to the
everyone.
court.
Hello,
Hello,
Fuko. Oh
queens.
my god,
Hello.
it's so finally I'm back. There's a little clip of Jungun trying to like go to her and was like Jiyeon, and Jiyeon completely
fully ignores her.
She was like, Yui, aren't you so excited that we're back here?
Yui, do you hear anything? I don't. I just need to know. I mean, feud season 3 for sure. So I am fascinated by this storyline because I could see the producers picking Jiyoon to go to part 2
to drive the narrative.
just to give it more entertainment value time.
Uh-huh.
I have no idea.
If people like her,
I need to
vote
know
her.
if people were like, I don't think we should be tearing anybody down, but like, were people very
voting?
annoyed? Did people vote for? I guess we'll find out. But it's just fascinating.
Yeah.
Because this is usually not the energy that endears one to the public.
To vote, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do our 6s.
Let's do our 6s. John, still. Yuri. Yuju in the motorcycle with the wind blowing her hair.
The wind.
And her top was like, it had like
I can't. It's please.
incredible.
Goddess.
Like I was like, you
Contest.
You look incredible.
I know.
I was like, I feel like I'm staring at a different person. It was insane.
Obsessed. Obsessed.
Obsessed.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't deal with it. Yeah. God, 2 more spots.
2 more. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy. I'm going to shout out to Ling Ling because she does really great in the creative challenge.
Really good in this challenge.
She had like a moment and everyone was like, oh, wow. She said like very emotive, like expressive face.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I'm not going to pick her, but shout out.
She stayed in Iland.
She's still in Iland, so she might make it. Coco. Fuck. We literally were like, I could see in a group Sarang and Juan could be in one together. And now I'm like, well, who do I bring? Oh, shit. This is hard, Adam.
It's so hard.
I can't pick 6.
I know.
Oh, shit.
I know. 3, 2, 1.
Yui.
Okay. I would like to see it.
I do have to shout out Chan, even though like she obviously was the one that had the hardest time in the creative challenge, catching up with Sojung's like choreography, and there were moments where Sojung was like, Jimin did a great job of like really working with her and like reassuring her that like, no, you're doing it right.
I thought all her onnies were very sweet.
Yes, they were all very sweet to her. She had a lot of screen time.
She did, to the point that
we were like,
I was like, they're gonna win. 9 people are gonna.
And Chan's gonna be
gonna be the last person left in ground.
She won't go to ground. She won't go to Iland.
I mean, that would have been the absolute fucking game.
Yeah. I don't see Chan making it to part 2, but we literally said on the reaction, so. if we are in KCON and we look up and Chan is up there,
walks out on that
stage in the final group,
for life, bitch. I'm buying the merch.
I'm buying
going
the merch.
on the tour.
I'm buying the light stick. It's done. Like, if you give me the impossible and make Chan.
Starting off, I have 3 people on deck.
We're not doing decks, girl.
We're doing decks. We're still in part 1. We're doing decks. I've got Yui, Sarang, and Fuko on deck. Okay? In 6th place, I have Coco. 5 is Mai. 4 is Jongin. 3 is Sebi. You forgot Sebi. 2 is Yuju. And 1 is Sujung.
Wow. I forgot Sujung.
I know. I was watching this happen in real time, being like, okay, bitch.
Because in the episode, I said, like, I'm obsessed with Sojung.
I'm obsessed.
She is, like, 2 feet tall, but, like, has, like, such a
She feels like a peer to the judges.
I know.
These are my contemporaries.
She's the Hui.
Yeah, but not even, because she's not even old.
It's not even like I'm redeeming myself
thing,
or whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
She feels like she's not competing.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm going to debut after this anyway.
Yeah.
Even if it's not here. Mm-hmm. Slay queen. No. The 6 is tough. I honestly think, like, Yuju is the one that I'm constantly looking at every week.
I know.
She grabs my attention every week, every performance.
I know. Well, see you next week. Episode 6. We will not be recapping episode 7. We're going to go straight to 8 because episode 7 was the
summer
recap.
Camp.
So episode 7, you can just watch our recaps. And then we can go straight to 8.